where we left off before the break was bullpen discussion and how bad it is. I'm at the point where I'm probably considering Hector Neris more than I should. His numbers this year are not good. His whip is not a career high, but it's the worst in 4 seasons. His strikeout rate is at an all-time low. He was kind of miscast in the Cubs world as the closer. He is not a closer. He is most likely a low-leverage guy. He can't go multiple innings. So if you're comparing him to like a Jose Ruiz, the Phillies will probably choose Ruiz because he can go multiple innings. But what Hector Neris is a veteran with a lot of big game experience. Maybe coming back to Philadelphia can kind of spark him back to life a little bit. But here's some of the numbers, courtesy of Tyler right here, from Hector Neris. He was DFA'd by the Cubs the other day. Is expected to catch on with a team. So it's basically free real estate for you. You're taking a waiver on a guy late in the season with big game experience under his belt. This year, he's got 44 innings pitched. He's 8-4 with a 3.89 ERA. That ERA you can live with. Opponent's batting average 247. Not ideal. His whip is what's concerning. He is going to walk guys and put people on base. 1.523 whip. His 46 Ks. His Ks per 9 rate, I want to say, is the worst. Let me see here. Strikeouts per 9. It's the worst of his almost career. He's at 9.4 Ks per 9 right now. As a rookie in a second year, he was at 9.0 and 9.1. Ever since then, he's been above 10. So it's pretty bad. It's his worst in a while. As Tyler points out, his hard hit rate, 44%. Not great. And his whiff percentage is down. So I'm not saying you explore the idea of Hector Neris because he's going to salvage the season and right the bullpen, but he is a guy that's a vet. Occasionally can have some stuff, but as Jim Salisbury said yesterday, if he's Hector Neris and comes in and isn't throwing strikes and is putting guys on base like Jose Alvarado is, then there's no point. And that's what the analytics and Dave Dombrowski and Sam Fold and the R&D department is going to explore, because I'm sure, it's free, like it's not, it ain't going to cost you nothing. No. So do you consider it at this point? I would consider it. And I think that, Tyler, you didn't have to show us that. Well, that's not good. There's his MLB savant kind of numbers. Blue is bad. Yeah. Red is good. I see no red. I see a lot of blue. Not great.
I mean, the concern for Hector Neris, 35 years old, was signed to that 1 year, $9 million contract. And he had, for this season, the bigger issue for him and why he was released and what reports are indicating is because of his vesting player option that would have kicked in had he reached 60 appearances or 45 games on the season. He's only appeared in 46 games right now, and he's finished a game 33 times. His numbers have not been what they were with the Astros. As we talked about, he's blown 5 of 25 saves. He's got a walk rate of 13.3% and a strikeout rate of 23.1%. And his numbers this season have definitely dropped from what they were with the Astros. And he's still, with all that, as we talk about, I mean, a 3.89 ERA is solid, but he's had such an up and down season with the Cubs right now. And they essentially were trying to avoid having that vesting player option kick in. So because he's been released and DFA'd, I think there's no hurt in at least exploring if he would be a good fit for the Phillies, because why not? The bullpen's been so taxed. You could use a shakeup. We do know for Hector Neris, between his time with the Phillies and the Astros, he actually combined for a 3.12 ERA in just shy of 300 innings pitched between the two teams. And his 50 saves, 30% strikeout rate, 9.6 walk rate, 40% grounder rate. He was better then, and something has changed since joining the Cubs. It just hasn't been a great fit for him, and I think sometimes that happens. You plan, you look at all the numbers, and sometimes the guy is just not a good fit. So for the Phillies, if they had a chance to get Hector Neris, to get more along the lines of what you saw with the Astros, I think it could be absolutely a good opportunity if you are using him for more of that middle leverage situation. You don't need him to be a closer. You don't need him to be a high leverage. Only. Yeah, like low middle, I think makes sense, and it could help maybe take some of the pressure. Jose Ruiz has been that low leverage guy. It was even Junior Marte for a little while before he was sent back down. So I think Hector Neris could be that guy to help fill in some spots, because it's obvious that the Phillies are needing to bolster their bullpen still, even with the addition of Tanner Banks and Carlos Estevez.
Tyler, would you? I understand it's not going to fix. This is all into the context of Hector Neris is not fixing everything.
This is one of those things.
This is just another arm.
24 hours ago, I probably would have said hell no, and now I say probably no.
So real quick, to that point,
swung me in a different direction
because of I'm kind of in the same boat. Hector Neris's whip is 1.573 on the year. Jose Alvarado since the All-Star break is a 1.75.
Oh, it's been bad too. Alvarado's
so
not
I think
been good
he
since
has
the All-Star
made
break
you
either.
get to this place mentally.
But I will say this: I think the last 2 years of of Hector Neris, it's kind of weird when you look at the numbers because
his ERA was good last year.
His ERA was awesome last year. It was a 1.71 ERA, and then but like the other stuff was lower, like his strikeout per walk was 2.5. 2022, his ERA was much higher. It was a 3.7 his first year in Houston, but his strikeout rates were higher. He wasn't walking a ton of guys. But to put it into perspective, I think both in 2022 and 2023, he was good. He was good in the playoffs in 2022. In 2022, he had 7 innings pitched. He struck out 9. He faced 20 batters and struck out 9 of them. He allowed 2 hits, 1 earned run. It was a home run in the ALCS to the Yankees. He was really good in the playoffs in 2022. Very good in the ALCS against Texas last year. He pitched 5 times in 7 games in the ALCS. Gave up just 2 earned runs. Only struck out 3, but only gave up 3 hits. Last year, he was quite good as well. I wanted Hector Neris in the offseason. I thought Hector Neris would have been a nice piece to.
What did he go for? Like $7 million?
I think it was $9 million. $9 million for 1 year. I think I probably would have considered that kind of money. Now at this point, the walk rate's up, the whiff rates are down, and it's not just whiff rates on a particular pitch. It's a whiff rate on every pitch. His strikeout rates are down. Therefore, obviously, his strikeout per walks are down. The whip is way up. He's given up 41 hits, but he's also walked, I believe, close to 30 this season so far in the 40-some-odd innings he's pitched. 26 walks to go with the 41 hits. I don't know if I'm comfortable, despite the fact that this bullpen's been bad over the last couple of weeks. I don't know if I'm comfortable with adding another guy who, even if it is middle leverage situations, is struggling to command the strike zone and is struggling to get swings and misses this year. I'll be honest with you. I know people immediately are going to go, yes, bring him in.
I don't think it's that.
I think I'm out.
I think it's worth at least considering.
I think the answer is no for me.
I think the point is that we're all getting to, like, the numbers we saw with the Cubs were not great. However, when you have that 1.71 ERA in 60 1/3 innings for the Astros, including in that time a 2.19 average on balls in play and a 90.5% strand rate, you saw much better productivity from him. Also, even in the playoffs, as you were just alluding to with the numbers, Tyler, that he is a guy that has postseason experience. Of course, the question comes, if the Phillies were to even pick him up, he wouldn't even be able to pitch in the postseason, correct?
Yes, no, he could. He has 10 more days to be in the roster.
Okay, so
by September 1st, he will be playoff eligible.
So they would have to make the move within the next 10 days by September 1st in order for him to be a playoff eligible player. He does have that postseason experience, and it is time to start shifting towards getting ready for the playoffs. I mean, right now where the Phillies are, I'm not confident heading into the playoffs, regardless if they have to play in the first round or not.